Hi, welcome to the quiz. You will be presented with multiple choice questions, each displayed on screen for a short time. Please make sure to attempt answering all the questions. Quizzes help us to reinforce our knowledge, identify areas where we need to focus more, and improve our overall performance. Taking quizzes can also help to increase retention and make the learning process more engaging and enjoyable. With that out of the way, you can answer along on quizalto.com. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started. Good luck. What is a scaling plan in AWS Auto Scaling? A schedule for resource backups. A list of available instance types. A predefined strategy for scaling resources. An alerting mechanism for network issues. What is the purpose of using target tracking scaling policies with AWS Auto Scaling? To maintain a specified metric value. To monitor disk usage. To enforce security best practices. To schedule instances for termination. What is a scaling policy in AWS Auto Scaling? Sets the cost threshold for resource usage. Defines how the system should scale in or out. Specifies the region for resource deployment. Configures network access control lists. How does AWS Auto Scaling integrate with Amazon CloudWatch? To automate software patches. To configure DNS settings. To monitor application metrics. To manage security groups. How does AWS Auto Scaling help optimize costs? By providing fixed pricing for resources. By reducing the number of instances at all times. By scaling resources based on demand. By charging based on the number of scaling events. What is a benefit of using AWS Auto Scaling? Improving application availability by detecting and replacing unhealthy instances. Increasing costs by over-provisioning resources. Having manual control over capacity adjustments. Reducing security by exposing more resources to the internet. How does AWS Auto Scaling handle scaling out? By pausing all instances during peak times. By keeping a fixed number of instances regardless of demand. By reducing the number of instances to match lower demand. By adding more instances to accommodate increased demand. What is a scaling plan in AWS Auto Scaling? A fixed number of instances for a particular service. A manual adjustment for resource scaling. A predefined timeline for scaling events. A set of instructions for scaling resources based on activity. What is the primary goal of AWS Auto Scaling? Providing unlimited resources at all times. Achieving the highest possible performance regardless of cost. Maintaining performance at the lowest possible cost. Reducing application availability to save costs. What is a key benefit of using AWS Auto Scaling? Increased database performance. Reduced security threats. Decreased network bandwidth costs. Improved availability and fault tolerance. What is a key feature of AWS Auto Scaling? Automatic scaling based on demand. Limited integration with other AWS services. Manual adjustments only. Fixed capacity at all times. What is AWS Auto Scaling used for? Limiting the overall scalability of the application. Manually adjusting capacity based on peak usage. Providing unlimited capacity at all times. Automatically adjusting capacity to maintain steady, predictable performance at the lowest possible cost. What does the cooldown period in AWS Auto Scaling refer to? The time taken to provision new resources. The time between resource adjustment operations. The period during which resources are actively scaling. The duration for which resource scaling is disabled. What is a benefit of using predictive scaling in AWS Auto Scaling? Reduced availability in peak times. Higher cost due to increased resource provisioning. Fixed resource allocation regardless of demand. Improved response time to sudden demand changes. How does AWS Auto Scaling help optimize costs? By offering discounts on network bandwidth. By providing free monitoring tools. By automatically adjusting resources to match demand. By reducing CPU usage in peak times. What is a benefit of using AWS Auto Scaling? Automatically adjusting capacity. Reducing network latency. Increasing security. Managing database schemas. What is a benefit of using AWS Auto Scaling with predictive scaling? Automatically updating software versions. Anticipating changing demand. Encrypting data at rest. Configuring network firewalls. What is the purpose of AWS Auto Scaling? Automatically adjust capacity based on load. Control network traffic flow. Ensure high availability of services. Manually provision and manage resources. What is the benefit of setting up scaling cooldown periods with AWS Auto Scaling? Ensuring only manual scaling adjustments. Preventing too rapid capacity adjustments. Limiting the number of scaling policies. Enabling long-term capacity forecasting. What is the benefit of using target tracking scaling policies with AWS Auto Scaling? Simplify the setup of scaling policies. Reduce storage costs. Increase security measures. Improve network latency. What is the main metric used for scaling in AWS Auto Scaling? Number of network requests. Total storage capacity. Average CPU utilization. Memory usage percentage. How does AWS Auto Scaling support cost optimization for resources? By adjusting capacity based on actual demand. By enabling data replication across multiple regions. By providing real-time data analytics. By enforcing strict access control. What is the purpose of dynamic scaling in AWS Auto Scaling? Limits resource scaling based on budget constraints. Scales resources based on a fixed schedule. Fixes resource capacity for a set period. Adjusts resources based on real-time demand. What is a key feature of AWS Auto Scaling policies? Monitoring system logs. Scaling based on demand. Network traffic encryption. Automatic code deployment. What is a key benefit of using AWS Auto Scaling? Increased hardware utilization. Improved application availability. Reduced network latency. Fixed monthly costs. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.